Hey there, how's it going? We are back trying to break up with our Yandere ex-boyfriend, and today we're actually going to be starting things off from the very beginning because I want to see how far we can get trying to break up with this guy. I don't know if we can actually continue from this route, but let's see. Let's just see how things go from here. You take a breath and step into yourself. You picture your hair, how it naturally rests. Straight wavy. I am not straight at all. Now it's color. Yeah, it's a dark brown. Well, y'all see it as black, but you know what? I guess black. Your skin, warm, cool, familiar. None of these are my skin type. What the hell? Pale? Your eyes, the part people linger on. Brown. The shape of your gaze. Double eyelids? Why? How much customization does this game have? Your hair falls in a wavy way, naturally black. Your pale skin feels unmistakably yours. These brown double eyes stare back at you. I sure hope I've got two eyes! This is how the world will see you. This is me? My name. Hey, Lion. The sound of your name jolts you back to reality. You blink, realizing you've been staring blankly at your open computer screen for who knows how long, doing absolutely nothing. Your gaze drifts back to the clock on the wall, still office hours, before shifting to the person who called your name. It's your coworker, the one you've been working closely with for a while now. Unlike the person she replaced, the two of you get along surprisingly well. For a moment, you just stare blankly at the files she's extended towards you. They need some last-minute changes before sending them to the client. Something about increasing the font size by a point. She mimics your boss's mannerisms perfectly, coaxing a faint smile from you. As you take the files, your fingers instinctively return to the keyboard, tapping out the same monotonous rhythm as always. You still haven't talked to him yet, have you? A few people pass by your desk, arguing loudly, but you keep your eyes fixed on the screen and mutter. Not yet. How much longer are you going to delay this? It won't change anything. I know. Your coworker takes a sip from her mug without lifting her hands from the keyboard, then grimaces. Thanks to your boss dragging out the meeting, the coffee's gone ice cold. You can't keep doing this. Weren't you dead set on telling him last night? You roll your eyes dramatically and exhale, knowing full well she won't see it. I try, but in the middle of our video call, his dog suddenly started throwing up. How was I supposed to drop a breakup on him like that? I'm not that heartless. Well, apparently I am supposed to be that heartless. Was it serious? You tried to recall the last message your boyfriend sent you this morning. I think she swallowed something or had an allergic reaction. Either way, I'm sure she's fine now. Soren took her to the vet this morning. Oh, perfect opportunity. Call him somewhere after work and talk. But Soren would never leave his dog alone like that. He's crazy attached to her. It'll only take half an hour. No way! How am I supposed to explain why I'm breaking up with him in half an hour? It's impossible! But I can! People break up with a single text these days. That's way too harsh. Besides, he never accepts it. Your coworker suddenly stops typing and turns to you, confused. You don't need him to accept it. Just tell him you don't feel the same anymore unless that's not actually the case. Apparently that has to be the case or else the game won't progress. Your fingers freeze mid-type. Of course it is. Alright, don't get mad. But if you're so sure about breaking up, why keep delaying it? You swallow hard before answering, as if you've been asking yourself the same thing. Of course, this isn't the kind of question you can resolve in the middle of a workday mid-conversation with a coworker. I don't know, maybe I'm just not as good at breaking up hearts as you are. See, more excuses. Maybe you should reconsider. You might regret it later. No, I have to end it. Like I said, My feelings have changed. I know how good he is to me, how devoted he is, but I can't return it. Lately, I've even been thinking about my ex. No! No! Can I just be single and not deal with any of this? Oh. Defensive now, your voice rises slightly. Not that I want him back, it's just things were so different with him. Maybe Soren and I just aren't right for each other. To your surprise, your coworker nods. That's fair. I'm sure he'll be happier with someone else too. Alright, I'll tell him today. And this time, I mean it. Just then, the files on your desk tremble slightly, startling you. It takes you a second to realize it's just your phone vibrating beneath them, but the moment you see his name flashing on the screen, an odd tension coils in your chest. Your eyes dot to your coworkers. It's him. Unlike you, she looks almost excited, nudging you towards the phone. Oh, perfect timing. Check what he wrote. Oh, whose printout is this? Can't mix with mine. Someone's grumbling by the printer, and your coworker jumps up in a hurry. Left alone, you hesitate. A part of you dreads whatever new complication this message might bring, something that could unravel your resolve. Your fingers hover before finally tapping the screen. You exhale sharply, leaning back in your chair and closing your eyes. Let's see. Waiting for test results. They said she ate something she shouldn't have. Finished up at the vet. Went shopping. Got those ribs. Cooking a special dinner. Just the two of us. What do you say? Your coworker rushes back, papers in hand. So, what did he say? You glance around the office, making sure no one's paying attention. Then show her the message. Oh, this is great. All you have to do is go, then explain things as kindly as possible. From what I remember at the company dinner, Soren seemed to be like a very reasonable, kind guy. You'll end things clean. No drama. You have no doubt that Soren is reasonable, level-headed even, and yet the thought of having that conversation stirs an inexplicable unease in you. You can't explain why. Soren's the definition of ordinary. Dog, remote job, weekend split between bad movies and you. No surprises, no drama, just life. Painfully ordinary. Maybe that's part of why you want to leave. Compared to your ex, no. You can't make that comparison yet. Not until this is over. With a quick tap of the keyboard, you reply. Okay, I guess I'll be there. The rest of the workday passes in a hectic blur, yet somehow faster than you expected. By the time you're packing up and chatting with coworkers on your way out, you realize you're in the best mood you've been in for days. Your coworker flashes you a knowing smile before parting ways. Don't forget to text me updates. I'll be waiting. But the moment dinner crosses your mind, all your anxieties come crashing back down like a weight on your shoulders. You freeze mid-sidewalk, earning a few annoyed bumps from passers-by. Alright, I'll see you. Since you need to stop by your place first, you hurry into the crowded metro and pull out your phone, only to find bad news waiting. We notice you haven't picked up your dress yet. It's freshly clean and waiting for you at such and such, so forget to stop by during our hours. No, Soren hasn't cancelled. Worse, you completely forgot to pick up your dress from the dry cleaners for your best friend's birthday party tomorrow. Your stomach drops as you reread the reminder text, double-checking the shop's address and hours. The dry cleaner is in the exact opposite direction of Soren's place. If you go now, you'll definitely be late for dinner. Your other option, skip the party entirely. With tomorrow's big client meeting, your boss won't give you even an hour's break, and you can't exactly show up to your friend's fancy venue in some random outfit. You know what? Wait, should I swing by the dry cleaners? Is that a good idea? Or skip the dry cleaners? I should swing by the dry cleaners. Screw that guy. Why does that make my determination lower? The weight of the impending conversation with Soren already presses down on you, but right now, more than anything, you need this. An evening with friends, a chance to breathe. I could clearly see that it was going to lower my determination, right? By the way, this little bar below me, that's apparently our determination meter, and the reason why the last time I played this, like, we could not break up with Soren, and the story just cuts off within 10 minutes. And like, I kind of want to make sure that we're actually able to progress the story In a way that matters, okay? I don't want to break up with this guy, but it's in the name of the game. And apparently it gets really spicy, so I really want to see that. Okay, right now, more than anything, you need an evening with friends, a chance to breathe. You owe yourself that small mercy. Besides, Mia isn't just any friend. She's your childhood confidant. You could never abandon her on her birthday. You hop off the metro and power walk to the dry cleaners, arriving just before closing time. As you clutch the freshly clean dress and step back onto the street, a wave of relief washes over you. Tomorrow's party will be perfect. You'll laugh, you'll forget, you'll live. But then it hits you. You need to text Soren. You didn't do that while you were on the train? I swear you could have made that decision much earlier. Running a bit late, something urgent came up after work. A pang of guilt stabs your chest as you hit send. You should explain, but how? He doesn't even know about the party or the breakup, and now it's definitely not the time. His reply pings instantly. No worries, babe. The message conjures a memory. Your last night out together, rushing downstairs in heels, one snapping mid-step. Don't rush. Be careful. I can come pick you up if you like. You nearly tumbled head first if he hadn't caught you. You'd buried that humiliating moment, yet he remembers. Thanks, but no need. I'll keep you posted. You rush home, shower in a haze, and throw on something comfortable before sliding into the waiting Uber. Of course, you don't forget to text Soren. I'm on you now. Great, babe. We're waiting for you. The words "we" sends an involuntary ripple of unease through you, until you remember, right, just him and his dog. Like always. Tonight, you won't tolerate any distractions. No excuses. No turning back. Since Soren's place is quite far from the city center, you have plenty of time during the journey, and the question that has been weighing on your mind for days resurfaces once again. Is breaking up with him truly the right decision? Yes. If you were to bypass your indecisive reasoning and instead trust your feelings, just as you intend to tonight, you would find your answer crystal clear. You no longer want to continue this relationship. There is something wrong here. Something that simply feels wrong to you. Just then, your phone buzzes with a notification, pulling you from your thoughts. Assuming it's a message from your boyfriend, you reach for your phone, but the name that flashes across the screen makes your heart involuntarily quicken its pace. Nope! Your ex-boyfriend! The ex-boyfriend who has been creeping into your thoughts more and more often lately, and into your DMs! Hey, been a while. You'll be doing well. Sorry if I'm bothering you. Just wanted to know if you're coming to the party tomorrow. As you read the message, an inexplicable thrill rises within you. Why? Knowing Law's fondness for crowded, lively gatherings and the fact that he shares mutual friends with Mia, whose birthday is tomorrow, you're certain he'll be there. But what puzzles you is why, after all these months of silence, his first message is about this. You have no idea. She'll respond. Your fingers hesitate over the screen, your inner voice whispering that it would be a mistake. I will listen to the voices in my head! Yet another part of you burns to know. Has he really moved on, and aches to answer him? No, I'm not gonna text him. It's gonna bring my determination even lower. No. You slip your phone back into your pocket and turn to look out the window. Also, I hate Lars! Right now, you have neither the time nor the energy to respond to that message, or to dwell on what might be going through Lars' mind. You know the reason he's been creeping back into your thoughts lately. It's because of the emotional void and anxiety stirred by your decision to end things with Soren. You've experienced this pattern in past relationships too. But the past needs to stay where it belongs, behind you. Like Soren, he should be behind us, cracking us. As you step out of the Uber, you notice that a light patter of raindrops tapping against the car window has turned into a steady downpour. Seeing how dark the sky has grown, you check the time on your phone, only to realize you're running later than you thought. The realization sends a ripple of tension through you. You pick up your pace, crossing the small garden of Soren's house, an old but sturdy-looking two-story detached home, its renovations perpetually postponed. You rush beneath the pergola at the entrance, doing your best to shield yourself from the rain. As you press the doorbell, you take a moment to notice the neighborhood, made up entirely of similar detached houses, remains just as calm and quiet as ever, rain or not. Soon the muffled sound of footsteps and distant dog barks pierce through the hum of the rain. Then the door swings open, and there he is. Cock. I love how we immediately zoom into his crotch. I don't know why this is such a thing when it comes to otome games, where we have to zoom in onto the crotch first, then their boobs. This never happens in regular, like, romantic visual novels. Even the straight ones. We don't stare. We don't stare down there before, like, zooming up. Like, why is this just a thing in otome? Despite the difference in your height, he leans forward just enough for you to clearly see the warm smile spreading across his face. Are we just a crotch height for Soren? Are we at, like, the perfect height to give him the Glub Glub 9000? Is that what's going on? I really don't know. And I don't want to know if I want to know. Because I'm short enough. Welcome, Lev. Come on in. Don't get any wetter. I'm sorry. I think I've soaked through my chair at this point. He steps aside to let you in. And as you cross the threshold, the familiar warmth of the house wraps around you. The contrast between it and the cool, damp air outside, or perhaps the weight of what's about to happen, sends a faint shiver down your spine. Just then, Soren closes the door swiftly behind you and turns to face you. I am not going to do either of those because I do not want to drop my determination. Although I would love to smooch him. It would be hilarious. No. Might be best to put a little distance between you and him, especially with the breakup talk still looming ahead. So instead of hugging or kissing him like you usually would, you settle for a warm smile. Unlike you, Soren leans in and presses a small kiss to your cheek, either unaware of your reserved demeanor or choosing to ignore it. Just then, the dog trots over to the door where you're both standing, her tiny body trembling with excitement as she begins to growl at you with surprising volume for her size. I still love Princess. You notice the wet mark around her mouth and immediately understand Soren must have tried to distract her with food before opening the door, hoping to soften her mood. But clearly she couldn't be bothered to finish her snack when the opportunity to antagonize you was just too tempting. Oh, you miss her too, don't you, Princess? I don't think she misses us. She's looking at us with such contempt. Princess is the small, greedy, one-eyed chihuahua mix that Soren adopted, and though he refuses to admit it, she absolutely has anger issues. Truthfully, with her temperament and the eye patch she wears, Pirate would have been a far more fitting name. Don't mind her. She always gets a little sensitive after the vet. Of course, no problem. But you know damn well it has nothing to do with the vet. She's despised you from the moment you met, for reasons you've never understood. Not that you can say that to Soren, who somehow still believes his princess is the sweetest, gentlest dog alive. Luckily, as long as he's around, her hatred doesn't escalate beyond bad teeth and growls. So, as you both head to the living room, she settles for glaring daggers at your back. I can't ask about the dog's condition. God damn, no. The last thing you want to think about right now is Princess. So you skip over any update about her condition without a second thought. After all, she was the one who ruined your video call last night. The one that delayed this breakup conversation to tonight. You could even say she's indirectly responsible for you missing the chance to pick up your dress for tomorrow's birthday party, meaning you'll probably miss it altogether. And that will most likely damage things with Mia, your best friend who invited you. Okay, fine, you're just tense. Maybe a little unfairly demonizing a tiny grumpy dog. The moment you step into the living room, the mouth-watering aroma of fried ribs spills out from the kitchen, wrapping around you. A single glance at the table tells you everything. The carefully arranged plates, the candles casting their warm glow, your favorite wine chilling in an ice bucket. It's painfully clear how much effort Soren put into this dinner, and the guilt inside you swells just a little more. How many of your exes ever cooked a meal like this for you? Better question, how many have ever cooked for you at all? Not reheated leftovers, not takeout, cooked. Was there even one among them who appreciated a meal you prepared? Maybe the real problem isn't this relationship, but your own feelings. And, of course, your own standards. Maybe what you should do is silence those unreliable emotions, the ones that keep dragging you into the wrong relationships, and finally listen to logic. Maybe, instead of breaking up with Soren, you should try pegging him, proposing to him. But why would Soren accept a proposal from someone like you? He has a better job, a nicer house, a reliable car, a beloved dog, hobbies that fulfill him, and a life that seems to be going perfectly well. Meanwhile, you have nothing but a job you constantly complain about, a few old friends, weak family ties, and a bunch of trauma and debt left over from terrible past relationships. The only thing you can offer him are your rather feeble love compared to his, some sex, maybe a bit of charm, and a whole lot of chatter. Nah, you're not being too harsh on yourself. You just want to remind yourself of a truth. That's all. You're totally not being harsh. Unlike your previous partners, you never understood what exactly keeps him in this relationship. Could this be what they call true love? Unfortunately, after your past bad relationships, your instincts won't let you put those rose-colored glasses back on. You no longer believe in fairy tales with white knights rescuing princesses from monsters. You quickly jump in, trying to come up with an excuse for your unusually long silence caused by your thoughts. Everything looks amazing. Even such a simple phrase is enough to make his eyes light up. I'm so glad you like it. Food's almost ready. You need any help? I got it. Just sit back and relax for a bit. Must be tired from trying to make it in time for dinner. You've forgotten all about being late since he hasn't said a word about it till now. But now, even this subtle remark from Soren is enough to unsettle your peace. What little of it may still be left. Also, I definitely feel what would have made better sense for this game is that it doesn't mark what choices would, drop your determination. It would make sense for it to actually drop gradually with all these, little comments that he makes over time. And also to have options that will allow you to kind of steal your resolve. Because at this point in time, I know that it's meant to make it a lot more accessible for people, especially for me. But I would love to be able to balance my stats if possible. God. But anyway, the subtle remark from Soren is enough to unsettle your peace. What little of it may still be left. You quickly begin crafting several possible explanations in your head for why you were late. Ones that don't involve the birthday party tomorrow and that he is unlikely to question. Why don't I just tell him the truth? But he doesn't give you a chance to lie. After checking on his dog, who has now gone to her bed in the corner, Soren smiles at you and disappears down the hallway. While you wait for him, maybe you could do something. Oh my god, do I stay here in the living room or go to the kitchen? I don't know if this matters. I have no idea. I'll stay here. But going to the kitchen will be funny. I want to stay here. I want to go to the kitchen. I'm going to the kitchen. Even though Soren didn't ask for help, you feel it wouldn't be right to just sit back and relax while he prepares something for you in the kitchen. Besides, it's your last evening together. Of course, the presence of the dog still curled up in bed, yet clearly still alert, might have also influenced your decision. As his footsteps fade down the hallway, you leave the living room and follow him into his spacious, airy kitchen, nothing like the small open kitchen in your studio apartment. The moment you step inside, you're startled by the sight of the kitchen table already lined with mezes, salads, and other dishes. Soren, really? You didn't need to go through all the trouble? He, standing at the counter with his back to you, turns his head at the sound of your voice. You told me lately you've been skipping meals because of work. We need to take care of your nutrition, darling. I don't want you getting sick. Oh, that should have definitely whittled down in my determination. You can't even remember when you said that to him. Probably just slipped out during one of your usual phone rants about how your boss dumps all the work on you. Yet somehow, he always seems to care more about the things you say than even you do. Your voice quivers slightly as you speak. That's, very thoughtful. Thank you. Don't mention it, darling. You know I always enjoy doing things for you. So, don't worry about doing anything tonight. Just enjoy it. Man, what does a knife mean? Fine, I'll take the hit. Oh, God! Driven by a definite need to ease your guilt, you jump in. I want to help. I could chop those spinach leaves, for example. He lifts his head from the bowl he's mixing ingredients in and glances at the bunch of spinach you point to, smiling. I think we have enough spinach for the salad, darling. Just having you here is enough for me. But if you really insist, I'd appreciate it if you tidy up a bit. Especially if you could put those spinach leaves back in the fridge before they spoil any further. Yeah, of course! You're relieved to have something to do when you begin putting away the items you had been using in the meal prep and then forgotten. At the very least, you hope that after everything is over and you can leave this house, you'll have shortened the painful phase when Soren cleans up and feels like all his effort was for nothing. Meanwhile, your eyes are drawn to a small pile of knives stacked haphazardly at the far end of the table. They're clearly large, broad, and sturdy, no doubt about that. But you can't quite imagine what they'd be used for in a normal kitchen. They have their own use in a kitchen. I mean, like, have you not handled meat? And despite how solid they look, the knives seem quite old, judging by their worn handles and dull sheen. They've definitely been used many times. Even without leaning in too close, you can smell the harsh scent of cleaning chemicals that's clinging to them. Ooh! Soren, I don't Soren. I want to ask about it. Unable to contain your curiosity, you call out to him, who still has his back to you. What are those knives for? Caught off guard by the sudden question, he turns towards you with the pan still in his hand. Huh? Oh, those are my grandfather's butcher knives. When he closed the shop, he sold most of his large tools and machines, but he kept the knives because he loved them. You lightly touch the sharp edge of one of the blades with your finger. They still seem pretty sharp. Do you use them often? He chuckles softly and returns the pan to the stove. They still come in handy from time to time, sure, but mostly, I just clean them every now and then to, well, I keep them for sentimental reasons. Let me handle them, sweetheart. You might hurt yourself. You're right. I'm clumsy enough as it is. Heeding his warning, you back away from the knives and open the fridge door to put away the last few items from the table. Yay! Mystery meat! As you do, your attention is drawn to the top shelf, packed with plastic-wrapped packages of meat. It's clear he recently stocked up, but there's a problem. Only a few packages seem store-bought. Most of them don't have any kind of label indicating date, type, or weight. A chill runs down your spine. What if the mouth-watering smell filling the kitchen right now is coming from one of those packages? Where did you get this meat, Soren? I don't see any dates on them. You can't stop your voice from trembling slightly. They're fresh cuts from a butcher, I trust. There's absolutely nothing to worry about, sweetheart. I never poison you. You're always safe with me. That's not what I meant. Why am I immediately going to cannibalism despite the fact that I know it is cannibalism? Your cheeks flush involuntarily, and you feel embarrassed as if a secret had just slipped out. The memory is still fresh. Your mother, who was never fond of cooking or taking care of you and your sister, once poisoned you both with expired food while trying to prove something to your constantly criticizing father. It was something you never told anyone, not even Soren. Trying to brush it off and move past the odd moment, you say the first thing that came to mind. You've definitely been eating a lot of meat lately. Yeah, just try to stick to my diet with the new weight training I've started. So, tell me, do you think it's paying off? Well, take off the ugly sweater and tell me! I doubt I can give you a proper answer with a sweater on. The words slip out before you can stop them, and you immediately regret your thoughtless remark, but his response catches you even more off guard. I could take it off if you'd like. Yes! As their gaze shifts to him, you catch something intense in his eyes, and you feel a rush of heat start in your belly and spread through your body. You haven't had sex with him since the thought of breaking up first crossed your mind. That period has been unusually long for you, yet you never thought of it as strange. Soren has always been more reserved and understanding than your previous boyfriends, and intimacy was never a big part of your relationship. But now you notice he's being even more forward than ever. Wait, unless I gonna burn the meat. How about after dinner? What do you mean after dinner? What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Your voice trails off towards the end of the sentence, fading into silence. It feels like your reason is clashing with your impulses, but before you can tell which side is winning, he turns off the stove with a teasing smile and walks towards you. As the distance between you vanishes, his hands slide to your waist, pulling you towards him. When his lips touch your neck, you forget everything for a moment, including your plan to break up with him. His warm lips travel up from your neck to your ear, lightly biting your earlobe, sending a hot shiver down your spine as he whispers, I'll take it off after dinner. That way, I won't have to put it back on. The mention of dinner triggers alarm bells in your head, and just like that, you manage to pull yourself away from him and his effect on you, at least for now. He, as if he wasn't trying to seduce you moments ago, continues in his casual tone. If you want, we can sit down before the meat gets cold. Sure. Your meat or the meat? Which meat? Can I? Are you gonna give me your meat? Hello? You pause for a moment before leaving the kitchen, trying to make sense of what just happened. Think about having a quickie with your soon-to-be ex-boyfriend in the kitchen is, quite frankly, unbelievable. Your inability to control your impulses is clearly still a serious problem for you. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside you. As the scent of the warm lamb chops he's just served reaches your nose, you realize you're actually hungry. He takes his seat from across the table and offers an encouraging smile. Please, try it, love. I hope you like it. After everything he's done to prepare this for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. You don't need to be a gourmet to know this is perfection. The crispness of the outside, the tenderness of the juicy center, the way every spice is balanced just right. You've always known he was skilled in the kitchen, but this is flawless. It's perfect. I've never had anything like this in my life. He doesn't just react to the compliment itself. What satisfies him more is what he sees in your face, in your eyes. Even in the soft glow of the candlelight, you can tell the emotion welling up behind his gaze. Smiling, he leans forward to refill your wine glass. I'm so glad to hear that, love. For the next minute or so, the only sounds are the rain tapping against the window and your utensils against the plate. Even Princess is absent, granting you both a moment of rare privacy. Wait, why can't I tell him? Why can't I tell him now? I keep eating. Your gaze drifts towards the window, noticing the rain outside has picked up. The thought of car journey in this weather begins to feel more and more unappealing. Besides, you're not exactly eager to leave this warm, peaceful home and return to your own small but chaotic studio apartment. You decide the breakup conversation can wait a little long. Wait, was I supposed to pick all the choices that would have dropped my determination? Wait, what do you mean? Okay, so definitely swing by the dry cleaners. That's what I need to do. I text Lars, okay? Finally, you overcome your hesitation and let your fingers tap against the keyboard. Hi, Lars. Yeah, really has been a while. Haven't decided about the party yet. Truthfully, risking being late for dinner at Soren's house just to pick up your dress from the dry cleaner, only to back out the party at the last minute will be pure madness. Either way, there's no need for Lars to know all that. Your thumb hovers over send just as you're about to slide the phone into your pocket. Another vibration pulses against your palm. I understand. The speed of the reply surprises you, especially considering Lars was never known for being prompt when it comes to answering text. I also realized my question must have sounded stupid. Just figure you'd be coming with your boyfriend. And if you two were going to be there, I was thinking of skipping. No, I'm just as undecided as you are. There's something about Lars' message so different from the careless, confident attitude, remember, that leaves you momentarily unsure of how to interpret them. What you do understand is that he seems less interested in whether you're attending the party and more concerned about whether your boyfriend will be there. But why? A strange unease stirs inside you as you realize that, beyond you, Soren and Lars have absolutely nothing in common. Should you ask him about it? Or should you end the conversation here and focus on the last evening you'd spend with Soren? I'll ask him. The gnawing pull of curiosity quickly overwhelms your hesitation, feeding your unease. Thankfully, tonight, Lars seems to have abandoned all his old habits, and he doesn't avoid giving you a clear, direct answer. Or rather, I'm obviously not lumping you in with him. I just don't want to run into your boyfriend and end up ruining the night for both of us. A thought you never would have considered, something that had never crossed your mind, suddenly surfaces. Does something happen between you and Soren behind my back? This time, even though you see that Lars is online, he doesn't reply right away. Well, you'd be better off asking him that. It's not my place to interfere in your relationship. It's just, thinking back to the past, I wish things had turned out differently. So you know, Lars was never the kind to apologize to anyone. His final messages somehow feel like an apology. I guess I'll admit that I miss him. I don't. I really don't. No. Everything you once lived with him, the memories, the regrets, the endless what-ifs comes rushing back to life in your mind. There's a bond between you and Lars, one so passionate, thrilling, and complicated that you could never truly deny it. No matter what you did, it was a connection you could never fully break. Me too. Why? The moment you hit send, the weight of what you've done crashes over you. You realize with a sinking feeling how foolish you must seem, and deep regret grips you. It's too late. You can see that Lars has read your message. Without waiting for any response, you shut off your phone in shame and shove it into your pocket, leaning your forehead against the car window as you struggle to steady your breathing. And yet, are you completely sorry for what you've done? That's a question you can't answer so easily. Okay, we're out of the Uber. I can't kiss him anymore. But why would I hug him? Why? Okay, actually, do I have to? I hug him. Okay. Boobs! In this moment, everything feels so ordinary, like one of your many quiet, pleasant evenings around together, that you find yourself instinctively wrapping your arms around his waist. Hi! Soren pulls you gently into him, resting her head lightly against his boobs as he murmurs. I hope you didn't get too cold. You're not dressed for this weather. I forgot to check the forecast. You think, not for the first time, that in moments like this, he sounds more like a concerned parent than a boyfriend. Still, you don't exactly mind it. Right now, this kind of tender attention is exactly what you need to ease your nerves. Even if, considering the reason for your nerves is that you're planning to break up with him, this gesture feels more than a little unfair. Luckily, before the guilt can really take over, Soren decides you've warmed up enough and gently lets go of you. Oh, here comes Princess. Bye, Princess. Ask about a condition. Princess is completely fine, right? As always, his eyes soften the moment his dog is mentioned. Yeah, definitely. She just ate something she shouldn't have. As you can see, she's already back to her usual self. Even though you and this tiny angry dog don't exactly get along, you still feel relieved by his words, especially after remembering how anxious he was last night. I'm glad it wasn't anything serious. You were really worried. Soren nods and a slightly sheepish smile pulls at the corner of his lips. Yeah, I guess I panicked, thinking I might actually lose her. I might have ruined your night too. Hopefully tonight's dinner makes up for it. No, please don't say that. Oh my god. Will Princess be joining us for dinner too? He lets out a soft laugh at your question. Unfortunately, she wasn't patient enough to wait for dinner with you, my love. Of course, that's not exactly what you meant, especially with Princess glaring at you like a tiny beast ready to pounce. Thankfully, he seems to notice your unease and doesn't push the joke any further. She'll probably fall asleep soon and head off to her bed. Okay, we're back in the living room. There's the smell of fried ribs. Let's skip through and go to the kitchen, offer to help, ask Soren about the meat. How about after dinner? Of course, you can't bring the news to him right here and now, so you have no choice but to postpone it. You have to bring up the issue during dinner. Otherwise, your impulses might just take advantage of his boldness and muddle everything. It wouldn't be the first time. Every time you caught Lars cheating on you, you'd repeat to yourself that this was the end and be completely determined to cut all ties. But then when he showed up at your door sometime later, saying he just wanted to talk, that resolve would take its first hit. Letting him inside will be the irreversible mistake that erased it altogether. Luckily, he had at least enough decency to eventually leave you himself, breaking the humiliating cycle and make you feel like a total fool. Anyway, there's no use thinking about those days anymore. You swallow hard, trying to smooth the crack in your voice. Right now, I'm starving. Soren's laughter fills the kitchen, finally breaking the tension in your weight. Then let's make sure you're nice and full first, darling. Come on, let's eat before your meat gets cold. As you follow him into the living room, all you can do is pray that for once luck is on your side. Your final dinner of Soren begins like any other. Let's skip. Why can't I tell him? Okay, so we're back here, and I don't know why swinging by the dry cleaners would drop our determination to break up with him. So we're gonna skip the dry cleaners. We're not gonna text Lars. We're not gonna hug or kiss him. We're not gonna ask about the dog. We are, however, going to the kitchen, and I do want to know about the meat. I will ask Soren about the meat. I'm not gonna tell him that he'll burn his meat. And we still can't tell him right now. So we're just gonna continue eating and just see where this goes. Let's just see where it goes. Your gaze drifts towards the window, noticing the rain outside has picked up. The thought of car journey in this weather begins to feel more and more unappealing. Besides, you're not exactly eager to leave this warm, peaceful home and return to your small but chaotic studio apartment. You decide the breakup conversation can wait a little longer. Soren catches your fleeting gaze out the window and smiles at you. I was really happy when you said you'd come for dinner. We haven't seen each other much lately. You know how work's been lately. So busy I can barely find time to eat. The truth is, that's not the only reason you haven't been seeing him. For now, you're grateful you can use work as an excuse. Eager to move on from the awkward subject, you glance around the room. I hope Princess isn't off somewhere causing trouble. Unlike you, he doesn't look away. His eyes stay fixed on you. Don't worry, love. She's usually well behaved. She's probably asleep in my room. Working in such a stressful environment must be wearing you down. To be honest, the first thought that crosses your mind every morning before starting work is to resign. Right now, you're sure he doesn't need to know that. It's nothing I can't handle. I'm almost used to my boss's nonsense by now. What about you? How's everything on your end? He pauses as he slices a thick piece of meat from his plate. Since he doesn't enjoy talking about his job, all you know is that compared to yours, he has more control over his hours and working conditions, and definitely earns more, working in the field of cybersecurity. And that doesn't change now. Same as always, love. Everything's fine. Glad to hear that. As dinner continues, the conversation drifts to more everyday topics, becoming so simple and comforting that it almost makes you forget why you came here in the first place. Indistinguishable from your usual familiar evening meetups. I finished my chops! Yay! My chops! As you finish all the meat on your plate and run your tongue over the remaining sauce with your knife. You lift your head only to lock eyes with Soren. Your cheeks flush involuntarily as you quickly set the knife back down. Given how fast you've cleared your full plate, you're sure you must look like you've been starved for weeks. It was really delicious. You know, I've only been eating ready-made stuff lately. Miraculously, when Soren looks at you, he must see something other than your oil-slicked face because he smiles warmly. I'm glad your appetite's back, my love. When I first saw you at the door, I almost thought you were sick. Your face looks even more alive now. You regret skipping makeup, but try not to let it show on your face. Must have been the exhaustion. Most likely. Would you like me to fry up some more chops for you? Despite how full you are, something stirs inside you at Soren's generous offer, an odd hunger returning without warning. But is it real appetite or just a distraction from everything else you can't bring yourself to focus on tonight, your last evening with him? Either way, it doesn't justify making Soren go through the trouble in the middle of dinner. As you scan the table to consider other options, your eyes drift to his plate. You notice he's only halfway through what's already a generous portion compared to yours. Still, his chops look different, spicier, crispier, somehow more flavorful. Surely he didn't save the best for himself. It's probably just your greed skewing your perception. Whatever the case, your mouth waters enough to turn back to him. There's no need to trouble yourself. Maybe I could try a little from yours. They seem kind of different. Soren's smile remains in place, yet you catch a flicker of darkness in his eyes. Oh, I didn't think you'd notice. You're right, love. It's game meat. Male mouflon, a type of wild sheep. The butcher said it was fresh, so I wanted to try it. Still, might be a bit heavy for your stomach. His tone stays gentle, yet there's a faint hesitation buried in his words. Whether he's unsure of the cut or the recipe, you can't tell. You recall the 2 separate pans he used while cooking. Most likely the unlabeled meat you saw in the fridge came from the same animal. Even so, your curiosity outweighs your caution. You're ready to ignore even the risk of food poisoning. Yeah, I doubt a single bite could hurt. Must be delicious. Everything you make is. Soren smiles again, though something in his gaze shifts, curiosity replacing caution. Are you sure? I've never been more certain. Tilting his head slightly, he speaks in that familiar, soft voice. As you wish, my love. Instead of moving the cut to your plate, he rises and walks over, slicing a small piece just for you. Rain pounds against the windows, and for a moment, the clang of the knife against the dish blurs with the storm outside. Open up, sweetheart. The gesture feels strange, but you're used to Soren's occasional bursts of romantic whimsy, so you let him feed you. You place a piece of meat into your mouth in one bite. Soren doesn't take his eyes off your face. Chew it well, my love. As the meat melts on your tongue, a burst of spices comes first, followed by something unexpected. A lighter, sweeter note hits your palate. How is it? There's a subtle tension in Soren's face, as if he can taste the meat himself through you. You know he's always been a little nervous when trying out a new recipe on you, but this feels different. You can't help but wonder if he's unusually sensitive to criticism about his cooking. Thankfully, at the moment, there's nothing on your mind but praise. Delicious! Now I understand why you didn't want to share. I was only teasing, but it's truly amazing. How about giving me your butcher's address? His expression softens completely. No need for that. I'll make it for you any time you like, my love. For a few unannounced seconds, the warmth of Soren's palm cradles your cheek. Then his thumb gently wipes a drop of oil from the corner of your lips. You catch a glimpse of him bringing that thumb to his own lips before he returns to his seat. His plate stays on your side of the table. Please, eat as much as you want. I'm so glad you're open to new taste. Next time, I'll prepare something even more special. Next time? You have no idea if there will be a next time, but you don't push it. I'll be looking forward to it. Just promise it won't be during the holiday season. Soren's only response is a sweet laugh. As you take another sip of wine, the lingering taste remains on your tongue. You reach for another piece of the chop. So you clear your throat a few times, as if about to speak. All you manage is to sip your wine and tell Soren that your throat has been a little sore lately. While the thought of ending things keeps circling your mind, you listen to him with a smile as though nothing is wrong. Yet, you're not even sure you're even able to follow what problem he's having with the vet. At the end of his story, You finally can't hold yourself back any longer. Soren? Just then, your boyfriend, still busy finishing the salad bowl, answers with casual indifference. There's something I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Perhaps you've drunk the wine too fast out of sheer nerves because you notice your voice sounding husky. I'm listening. Soren's affectionate gaze lingers on you as he pulls a fresh plate of half-eaten greens closer to himself to replace the emptied bowl. The sight of him so cheerful, so content, only fuels your dread that you're about to ruin this pleasant evening. It feels like the worst possible moment for a breakup. But how long can you keep putting it off? Dinner is nearly over. Since he already confessed his intention in the kitchen, you don't really think Soren is planning to wait long before pulling you into bed. Well, truth is, I've no idea how to even begin a conversation like this. Never been in a situation like this before. What I mean is, I've never experienced something like that. You were speaking honestly. In your past relationships, you always carried a clear sense of whether things were moving right or wrong. Even if you often chose to ignore those inner verdicts, you never left such a decision entirely in the hands of instinct and feeling, the way you are now. While you sit, tense and restless, Soren pauses his meal, dabbing his lips with a napkin, maintaining the same calm, pleasant demeanor as before. My love, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm only asking to help you. Are you pregnant? How did you know? For a moment, you can only stare at him in disbelief. What? My love. Where did you get that from? Oh, calm down, darling. Though Soren realizes his mistake and reaches out as if to soothe you, it only makes your already raw nerves snap tighter. What are you talking about? I'm not pregnant! His brows knit faintly, though his voice remained soft. I understand. It was only a guess. You've seemed more tired, more tense, more sensitive lately. Your appetite has changed as well. The mere suggestion invades your thoughts at terrifying speed, halting you in place. Could your recent emotional storms truly be because of this? Wait, have I been pregnant this whole time? No, you already had your period since the last time you were together. But that alone doesn't prove anything. What if you are? You know, before returning home, you'll have to stop at a pharmacy, find a test, and, well, anything to quiet this gnawing suspicion. And yet, the fact that he planted such a thought in your head only stirs your anger further. You can't be serious. We've been using double protection. You're right, my love, but no method is ever truly foolproof. Double? The idea that this might be added to the heap of misfortunes already crushing your life shakes you to the core. You didn't make a mistake, did you, Soren? Nothing happened that you didn't tell me, right? Your voice comes out sharper than you intended, and you can see the flash of discomfort in his eyes. Why would I ever do that? I'm capable of owning up to my mistakes, Lion. I thought by now you knew that about me. Suddenly, guilt washes over you. That's not what I meant. But Soren doesn't let the subject linger. His voice, once again gentle, cuts off your words. Since this isn't the real issue you want to discuss, I'm truly sorry for bringing it up out of nowhere, my love. I only wanted to understand what's been troubling you, and that possibility crossed my mind. I was actually about to explain just before you mentioned pregnancy. You forced yourself to steady your breath, deciding to let this bitter detour fade. And you'll do it by confessing to an even harsher truth. You inhale deeply, then exhale. I want to break up. As the words leave your lips, a heavy silence floods the room. You avert your eyes, too afraid of what you might see on Soren's face, waiting in unbearable stillness, until his response strikes you from a different angle you never expected. His laughter is so sudden, so loud, that the glass slips from your hand just as you try to wet your dry mouth with a sip. It falls onto the table without shattering, the wine spilling forward, spreading across the surface in slow, crimson waves. But with every hair on your body standing on end, it is the last thing you care about. Soren's laughter finally softens into a wide smile. I know how angry you are at me for bringing up the pregnancy issue, my love. But I apologize, and if it would please you, I can keep apologizing. Your breath quickens involuntarily as you blurt out, "This has nothing to do with that conversation!" Then you didn't like the meal? Soren, I'm serious. So you say you're serious, and yet, baby, your voice sounds far more like anger than resolve. You swallow hard, again and again, unable to answer. From the warmth still shining in his eyes, too warm, almost amused, you can see he isn't taking you seriously. This is not the reaction you expected. In truth, it isn't even a reaction at all. He still doesn't understand you want to leave him. Oh. Is the problem your timing, your tone? All you know is that you're making a mess of this too. Perhaps sensing your discomfort, Soren finally looks at you with a more sympathetic expression. You must have had a hard day, love. Why don't we talk about this over dessert? I'm sure creme brulee will cheer you up. Suddenly, you're thrown back into your childhood, back to those moments when adults tried to pacify you with toys or sweets, never caring about what you were actually saying. Wait, is bro basically just infantilizing us? That same wall rises before you again. But this time, you cannot endure it. You are no longer a child. You are a grown woman, and you can live without Soren. As your boyfriend rises from his chair, noticing the toppled glass and reaching over for a cloth to wipe the spill, you suddenly seize his arm. Soren, sit down. I haven't finished speaking. So clearly taken aback by the firmness in your voice, he doesn't resist you. Of course, love. I'm sorry. Please, go on. Once he sits back down, you no longer hesitate. I want to break up, Soren. His brow lifts slightly, though his expression remains warm. You must be joking, darling. It's far too late to pretend this is all a joke. No, I'm not joking. I'm sorry, but this is the truth. Soren's smile vanishes from his face in an instant. I don't understand. Is there someone else? No, because apparently if I even introduce someone else, I still wouldn't be able to break up with you. The idea that he could believe you were unfaithful leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. Still, you don't blame him, because if the roles were reversed, you know you would have reacted the very same way. No, Soren, there's no one else. His piercing gaze softens with visible relief at your words, but it doesn't last. His blue eyes quickly harden again, fix on you with the same confusion and tension. Then what is it? I can't understand how you can make such a sudden decision. You knew this question was inevitable, yet explaining something you don't even fully understand yourself feels almost impossible. My feelings have changed. I'm not happy in this relationship anymore. So your feelings just shifted overnight. When we watched movies together, when we shared meals together, when we made love, when we spent all that time together, were you not happy then? Were you only pretending? Or have I misunderstood everything all along? You could see his breathing quicken, the tension sharpening his features. But the worst of all, it's the disappointment in his eyes. Your earlier firmness deserts you in an instant. No, believe me, Soren, it isn't like that. I've always loved being with you. I still do. But something is missing. The further our relationship went, the stronger that absence grew. And I can't even tell you what that is, because I don't know myself. I think I'm not in love with you. Why does he look so done? This time, neither of you make the slightest move to break the silence. The roar of the storm outside fills your ears as you sit there, unable to deny how wretched you feel. The relief you thought you would find in finally speaking these words is nowhere to be found. Instead, every muscle in your body is locked, rigid, your head full of tangled thoughts. At last, Soren gathers the courage to put an end to this torment. Yet his voice this time is cold, solemn, and unfamiliar, sending a shiver through you. From what you said, Lion, it's clear to me that your thoughts are tangled. If you'll allow me, I must repeat that this is a hasty and ill-considered decision. Could you stop gaslighting me? I believe you're trying to reach a conclusion before clarifying what you truly want. What you're missing are the tensions, the frictions from the early days of our relationship, things that faded as we grew closer. You forget that neither of us is at an age to chase constant excitement anymore. So no, I don't believe the problem lies in us. You're only caught in a temporary uncertainty, and once you move past it, I doubt very much you'll be glad you chose this path. His measured words plant a seed of doubt in you. You can't help but wonder if he might be right. And yet, the suffocating weight of what has been growing inside you leaves you powerless to fight it. Well, maybe you're right. Still, this feeling isn't temporary. For an instant, his once blue eyes flashed with a vivid, passionate spark, but he suppresses it all at once. His lips press into a thin line as he leans back in his chair. If you need time to think, I can wait. You deliberately avert your gaze. After all, you can't imagine what time would change. You spent the past month thinking of nothing else, and nothing has shifted. To leave him or to stay. Both paths look equally dreadful in this moment. You fear not only the possibility of making an impulsive, irreversible mistake, as he warns, but also what might become of your relationship if it continues after this conversation. So you don't want more time? At his decisive tone, your head lifts towards him. There's no warmth left in his eyes. You must have drained it all. And yet, his voice carries no less understanding than before. Then I respect your choice. I only said these things because I love you, and because I don't want you to regret this later. Of course, I can't force you into something you don't want. So be it. Whatever you wish. I'll call a cab for you. When he rises from the chair and leaves the room in quick, determined strides, you know the conversation is over. Your body, strung tight with dread, unravels on its own, and the tears that had burned behind your eyes spill free before you can stop them. But now is not the time to cry. You've done what you resolved to do. You ended things with him. You should feel freed from the gnawing dread that had tormented you for the past month. So why do you feel so wretched now? Is it because you're certain you've lost Soren completely? You never expected to remain friends after a conversation like this. Not when you rejected even the generosity of his offer to give you more time, wounding him more deeply than you cared to admit. The wine you hadn't let him fully clean away finds its way dripping from the table, staining your skirt as it mingles with your tears. Why didn't I wipe that up? Still, you sit motionless in the chair, weeping. Because if you were to stand now, you know you wouldn't walk to the bathroom. You'd go to him. You'd beg him to forget everything you just said. You've never been good at breakups, but this time you must endure the weight of regret. By the time Soren reappears at the doorway, enough minutes have passed for your sobs to quiet, at least for now. Cab's here. I'm coming. You rise and approach him. Though your face is marked with the evidence of your tears, he says nothing. He offers you nothing more than the courtesy of a good host, and still you can't help but appreciate that he walks you to the door. Good night. Your eyes drift instinctively down the hall in search of Princess, but the dog is nowhere to be seen. To you as well. So this is it. The end. Lion. Just as you're about to step out the door, you pause, startled, and turn back to him. Soren swiftly takes an umbrella from the stand and offers it to you. You don't need to return it. I'll pick up your things and ship them to you soon. Your fingers close tightly around the handle, still warm from his grasp. I'll do the same. Thank you. You're grateful, at least, that things haven't turned ugly, that you can still spare each other these small comforts. But at the moment you leave the warmth and light of his home, the cold, oppressive dark outside makes your skin prickle. Why is it so dark? Clutching the umbrella, you hurry towards the waiting cab. Before opening the door, you fold it shut and cast one last glance towards the house. Since he hasn't closed the door, Soren lingers there, a dark silhouette, framed by the flood of light spilling out behind him. Even so, you can see him raise his hand in farewell. So you know he likely can't see you. You mirror the gesture. Moments later, the cab pulls away, its tires hissing over the rain-slicked street. You stare out at the night, trying to convince yourself this is what's best for the both of you. You weren't right for each other. This wrongness would have haunted you forever. And yet, no matter what you tell yourself, you can't shake the sense that a more painful chapter is waiting just ahead. The following evening. I still can't believe you actually broke up with him. And right before my birthday of all times. And I don't have an outfit for your birthday! I showed up here in my office clothes! You take another sip from your fruity cocktail, your eyes wandering everywhere but Mia's face. The blaze of lights, the endless array of drinks, the dazzling crowd. Everything around you feels vibrant, shimmering, alluring. The truth is, you're only here because Mia refused to accept your excuses over the phone. Her insistence wore you down. Now you're stuck in one of her elegant, expensive dresses, a gown that, no matter how hard you try, never seems to sit right on you. Despite the bright smile fixed on your face, you are far from feeling as excited or as happy as you look. And as long as Mia insists on discussing the breakup, you barely manage to confess to her. You never will. What if you called him after the party? I'm sure whatever happened between you two was just a misunderstanding. Mia... She ignores the warning in your voice. If only he had come to the party, you could have worked it out instantly. At last, you can't hold yourself back. You're really making me regret coming here, Mia. The look on her face tells you your irritation has hit its mark, and she wilts, embarrassed. You're right. There's no rush. Come on, let's join the others before it gets too crowded. I'll fill you in on the latest gossip. Mia loops her arm through yours, pulling you towards a circle of familiar faces. As soon as you catch sight of old friends among them, your mood lightens. Soon swept into the chatter, you even manage to feel almost happy. When Mia slips away, having spotted a potential new investor across the room, you choose to stay behind with the group of friends she'd whisper into your ear were boring and ordinary. But you don't mind. The company is familiar, comfortable, pleasant even. For a while, everything goes perfectly. Until the moment someone you've known since university and what seems like nothing more than innocent curiosity asks. So, are you still with Axel? Haven't heard from him in ages. No, we broke up a long time ago. We don't keep in touch anymore. The name alone is enough to send a tremor through every muscle in your body. Though you do your best not to show it. Unfortunately, someone else catches the exchange. Someone who, unlike Mia's other friends, knows far more than you wish they did. Before you can stop it, your love life becomes the group's new subject of conversation. Wait, I swear, the last time I saw Lion, she was with that hot blonde actor. Shame you didn't bring him along tonight. After ignoring Laz's message yesterday, you're nothing but relieved he chose not to show up at the party. Someone else cuts in before you can respond. Oh, you mean Lars! Was that his name? I remember seeing his last film. Tell me, does he use a body double for the nude scenes? Hey, they broke up ages ago. It wasn't even serious between them. But Mia said she finally had a serious relationship. I'm dying to meet your new boyfriend, Lion. Didn't he come? Oh, I haven't met him either. She came alone. Don't tell me you two broke up. Isn't there someone new in your life? The ringing in your ears grows louder, and suddenly it feels like you're suffocating. As if a spotlight has been turned on you, every pair of eyes in the room seems to burn into your skin. The false smile on your face stiffens until it hurts. Clutching your glass tightly, you murmur before slipping away into the crowd. I'm just gonna grab a drink and I'll be right back. Oh, but this was just getting exciting! I'll come back right away, okay? Ignoring the voices and laughters calling after you, you hurry away. You need to step outside, breathe some air, collect yourself. But just as you're about to reach the entrance, a sudden hand on your shoulder makes you jump. You turn and find Mia standing directly in front of you. I was just going to grab some air. Don't worry, not sneaking out early. Her silence unsettles you, and when you study her face closely, you catch the excitement she's trying to suppress. What is it? I need to tell you something. What's wrong? Damn it, he's here. Who? Your mind scrambles to guess who could be troubling her this much. Probably someone connected to her work. Or maybe someone from Emil's family. But you don't have to wait long. It's Soren. Wait, what? Your heartbeat quickens against your will as your gaze instantly follows the direction Mia discreetly points out. What the hell? Soren really is here, engaged in a conversation with Emil. Though you can't quite catch his expression, he is nothing like you feared. Not tense, not cold, not distant, just hot! On the contrary, he looks genuinely happy, at ease. Truthfully, after the seeds of doubt he planted in your mind, you ended up scouring the streets for a late-night pharmacy, only to find every test you bought came out negative. There's no reason you shouldn't feel just as carefree as he does. After the strange tension of yesterday's conversation, you're grateful, if only for a fleeting moment, to see that maybe things are fine between you. But the illusion doesn't last, because in the next breath, you're confronted with the side that left Mia stunned. A woman, someone you've never seen before, glides towards them. Beautiful, striking in a way that is impossible to ignore, she slips her hand through Soren's arm as though it was the most natural thing in the world. Well, he moved on quick! My God, who is that woman? Mia's whispered question sends a current of heat coursing through your body, sharp as lightning. Still, you manage to answer steadily. I don't know. Your friend gazes at you, shock written all over her face, her gaze burning hotter with every second. What do you mean you don't know? She's not, I don't know, a cousin? A friend? Most likely not, but like I said, I don't know. Maybe she's just a colleague. Maybe he's only trying to make you jealous. You want to believe her. No, you need to believe her. Because how else are you supposed to make sense of this? Soren, who normally despises crowded parties, showing up at one the very next day after your breakup, your best friend's birthday party no less, with another woman. A beautiful woman you've never seen before. Your mind scrambles for any explanation, but only one possibility keeps circling back. And yet, no. You won't do him that injustice. That isn't who Soren is. Did you tell him about the party? Yes, but that was a week ago, and you haven't said anything about breaking up. Besides, he told me everything between you two was perfectly fine. Mia clearly expects you to react, but you can't begin to explain what's racing through your head. All you manage is a murmur. I see. Honestly, I don't blame Mia whatsoever. So you were wrong. Contrary to what you believed, Soren must have already known about your feelings. Instead of asking why you hadn't mentioned the party, he chose silence. Even during last night's dinner, he avoided bringing it up. You were wrong. A man as rational as Soren wouldn't lower himself to childish games to make you jealous. On the contrary, by revealing his new relationship so openly in front of everyone, he's making it clear there's no path back to him. Once again, you were wrong. Of course he wouldn't replace you in a single day. The truth is far crueler. This woman must have been in his life even while he was still with you. Maybe when he told you yesterday that you needed more time, he wasn't offering it solely for the sake of your confusion. A familiar numbness washes over you, curling cold and heavy through every limb until you feel hollow. Are you alright? You turn to Mia's anxious face to give her a calm, almost gentle smile. This isn't the first time, and if things keep on this way, it won't be the last. So there's no reason to ruin your friend's birthday party over this. Yeah, of course. Now stop staring over there and let's forget it. We came here to have fun, didn't we? Fun? Oh, for God's sake, how am I supposed to enjoy myself now? And what on earth is Emil talking about with him for so long? I swear, if that woman doesn't turn out to be some long-lost sister Soren's been too ashamed to admit to, I'll lose my mind. Lion, please stop smiling like that. You're scaring me. Your smile only widens. I suppose I've gotten used to it. Oh, don't say that. Please don't. I know this has to be some kind of misunderstanding. Despite all your efforts, you can't stop Mia from bombarding her husband's phone with messages and calls until he finally breaks away from Soren and comes back to you. So, Emil, who is that woman? The tension in Emil's expression is obvious at a glance. Why don't you ask him yourself? Could you not spend a few minutes with someone who came here to celebrate your birthday? Do you even realize how rude you're being? What the fuck? Oh. Emil might be right, yet his anger also reveals something else. His closeness to Soren runs deeper than you thought. You want to say something to Mia, but she doesn't hold back. Her own anger flares at her husband instantly. Do you even hear yourself? What do you expect me to do, Emil? Go over there and congratulate him for cheating on my friend in broad daylight? Sometimes you drive me insane. What cheating? Weren't you the one who told me hours ago that they'd broken up? How does that change anything? Are you saying he met that woman just a few hours ago? Oh, Mia. Once again, the painful truth you've been trying to escape slams against your face. Emil sees the look on your face, swallows whatever he was about to say, and steadies himself with a deep breath. What I mean is, you're exaggerating. What in the freaking boys club is this? The woman is just the daughter of a family friend. She was invited too, but didn't want to come alone. Soren wanted to both celebrate your birthday and keep her company. That's all it is. Knowing Soren as you do, you can tell it's just an excuse. Wait a second. She was invited? I never invited her. I don't even know her name. Ellie invited her. They know each other. Your sister invited someone to my birthday party without even telling me? What in the boys club is this? With years of friendship behind you, you recognize the warning signs immediately. Mia is about to cause a scene. And the very last thing you want is to be the reason your best friend ends up fighting with her husband on her own birthday. This is not the time for this. People are watching. Lion's right. Mia finally notices the eyes on her and reins herself in, just a little. Still, before she lets you loop your arm through hers and lead her away, you catch the sharp whisper she throws at her husband. You tell your dear friend to take his little date and get the hell out of here. I don't want them ruining my party any further. At last, once you leave the hall, the quiet of the corridor offers a fragile sort of relief. This might just be the worst birthday I've ever had. I'm so sorry, Mia. This is all my fault. Oh, stop it, Lion. Don't be ridiculous. The only one to blame here is Soren. Well, and Emil too. Yes, him as well. He misled me about what kind of man Soren really is. I almost thought he was a saint, but you can see for yourself what a two-faced devil he truly is. I'm convinced he brought that woman here just to ruin your night. As Mia keeps ranting, you can't find the strength either to silence her or argue back. But you don't agree with her either. Is Soren really a devil? Your heart still refuses to believe it. Then a new figure appears at the far end of the corridor, drawing your attention. Soren, with the woman at his side, walks towards you step by step. At first, they don't notice you, and you use that advantage to study them. Soren looks different and undeniably attractive, so much that you can't pretend otherwise. At the same time, you realize that their closeness now isn't quite the same as it had been inside. Of course, that thought disappears the moment Mia, clenching her fist, storms towards them. It's far too late to pull her back now. Yet Soren doesn't shy away from the encounter. I'm glad I could see you before we leave, Mia. Happy birthday. What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? Mia's sudden outburst reverberates down the corridor. Though Soren's lips press into a straight line, you're grateful he maintains his calm. Your face involuntarily flushes as you pull Mia by the arm. I'm sorry, we really should get going. What the fuck, Lion? Who the hell are you apologizing to? Soren turns towards the woman at his side, who's been watching the outburst in stunned silence. You mentioned you want to stop by the restroom, didn't you? Oh, yeah. Then I'll meet you by the elevator. The woman walks away without questioning, not even glancing back, and follows his direction obediently. Congratulations! This time you found yourself a docile little puppy. Mia, please, don't do this. Let's just go. But Mia reminds you once more that controlling her anger is not easy. What is wrong with you, Lion? How can you stay so calm? You should have ripped his hair out by now. Did he cheat on you or on me? Soren's eyes bypass Mia completely, locking onto you instead. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Who do you think you're fooling? Emil, maybe? I know damn well you were sleeping with that woman while you were still with Lion. A man like you wouldn't dare show up here parading another woman on his arm unless it was already going on. Your friend's brutal honesty leaves even you flushed with shame. You avert your eyes as Soren's voice, tinged only with sorrow, cuts through the tension. Pains me to think that's what you think of me. But it isn't true. Regardless, this is a matter between Lion and me alone. Only she has the right to demand an explanation from me. The continuation of this conversation serves no purpose but to make you feel small, humiliated. You don't want to let old wounds claw their way back to the surface. You just want out. Please, none of this matters anymore. It's all in the past, like yesterday past. You catch the tightening of Soren's jaw at your words. You're absolutely right, Lion. In that case, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Well, fuck you too! Are all the men in this game awful? Without another word, he leaves, granting you the dignity of privacy. Even Mia can't keep pressing the issue, though she mutters one last bar before returning to the others. I just hope you really meant that! You give her a quick, empty smile in response, though the truth is, you don't know yourself. Still, you can't deny the party isn't entirely joyless. You allow Mia to introduce you to new acquaintances, indulging in the luxury of rare cocktails and the easy distraction of meaningless chatter. Glasses are emptied, one after another. You continue until the alcohol manages to suppress all your thoughts and feelings. When was the last time you lost yourself this much to drinking? A year? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? No, there are things from even further back in your memories, but you can't recall them. And that feels like the best thing. Until the drink service is cut off. The bartender tells you he can't serve you anymore. Soon enough, you find Emil by your side. Well, fuck you! Mia's in the restroom. We're heading home, and we'll take you with us. I'll go by myself. I'm sorry, but I can't leave you like this and endure Mia's complaining all the way home. Oh. Fuck you too! 1 second! You drink the last few drops in your glass, and with a sense of duty, you stand up and accompany him. As soon as you arrive home, you collapse onto your bed. You're sure you won't remember a thing from tonight tomorrow. And that's exactly what you want. A month later? What? Okay. Cool. Wow, my boss! My boss! Oh, boss, man! Boss! Why is my boss vibrating? Did you make the changes I asked for before we sent it to the client? You tried to stay calm despite your boss's usual irritating tone and his buzzing. Oh my god, why is he buzzing? Why is he buzzing? Yes. All of them? Yes. Did you double check? Yes. Are you sure? Could you stop buzzing? At that moment, it occurs to you that the changes he's talking about might not be the ones he told you about yesterday before the end of work, but rather the pile of emails you saw in the morning mail list, postponed until after the meeting. Your heart races as you cautiously push the limits of your luck, asking in a faint voice, "You mean the changes from yesterday, right?" Your boss's face darkens instantly. "Yesterday's? I mean the emails I sent you this morning! God, you haven't even looked at them yet?" His booming voice echoes throughout the conference room, and no one dares to make a sound. You feel your throat tighten from the unexpected setback. Still, you try to maintain your composure. "I was going to. After the meeting. Also, boss, your vibrator's going off." "You were going to?" "Okay." Oh. Oh, he was actually vibrating that whole time. Was he receiving his script through, Morse code up there? What the hell was happening? Your boss snatches the persistently ringing phone off the desk and with terrifying speed leaps from his chair, storming out of the room. His departure leaves a hum over their conference table. You don't want anyone's advice, so you rest your elbows on the table and cover your face with your hands. Guilt weighs heavily on your shoulders. Checking those emails should have been the first thing you did while working under such an unstable boss. How could you make such a foolish mistake? I mean, you would have only had about an hour to work on all that. Truth is, you can't even say this is your only mistake. Lately, you've noticed yourself forgetting things more often. Granted, none of these oversights have ever turned into such serious issues. However, you never experienced something like this, not even when you first started working. There's a problem in your work life. Only in your work life? A hand on your shoulder makes you nearly jump out of your seat, and the voice of your coworker brings you back to the present. Hey, relax. You should drink some water. Gratefully taking the water bottle she places in front of you, you force yourself to take a sip while she continues. I've just gone through those emails. They're full of useless, nonsensical stuff. Despite your coworker's effort to console you, your tension doesn't ease at all. I'm sure of it. The problem isn't the client anyway. Your coworker exhales audibly, agreeing with you. Oh, no doubt about that. As your boss storms back in, the conversation at the table are cut short. Your coworker quickly returns to her seat as well. You can tell from his barely contained expression of anger how the call with the client went. Certain things would have been different if you had handled the conversation yourself. Instead of returning to his chair, your boss comes to where your coworker is seated and places a file in front of her, a file you just noticed he's holding. Client is yours now. You'll handle them from now on. Like everyone at the table, your coworker's stunned gaze first falls on your boss, then on you. Then, recovering faster than anyone else, she asks cautiously, Are you sure? Lion has managed this client very well until now. Despite expecting your boss to shout at any moment, he simply sits back calmly. It's in your hands from here. Understood. Naturally, your coworker can't question the decision any further. Watching a project you've been fully responsible for from the start, spending countless hours to set things in order, being quietly taken away from you. It weighs heavier than even enduring one of your boss's sudden outbursts. You hope for an explanation from your boss, but instead of addressing the situation, he dismisses it with his usual anger and continues the meeting as if you and the matter don't even exist. Throughout the meeting, you force yourself to appear calm, ignoring the weight of your furtive glances. You spend the meeting almost entirely listening to others as your boss gives you no opportunity to speak. Of course, you're fully aware of how strange this is. Yeah, that's all for now. When the meeting ends, despite the chaos in your mind, you manage to feel a small sense of relief. You desperately need to step away from this awful environment and your boss, even if only temporary. However, as you get up from the table and head towards the door, like the others, your boss stops you. Lion, stay for a moment, please. Your eyes meet your coworkers, and though she silently suggests you ignore whatever your boss is about to say, this time you're not so sure if it will just be a simple reprimand. Once everyone else leaves, you turn to face your boss in the now empty room. Please go to HR immediately. Huh? Why? Your boss wastes no time clarifying your curiosity. I've terminated your employment contract. You thought you were prepared for anything, you might say. Everything except, well, this. No matter what, After all the effort you've put in and all the mobbing you've endured, you never imagined you'd be fired so suddenly. You were foolish to hope that because you tolerated your boss's mistakes, your own mistakes might be overlooked to some degree. Now you won't try to hide this mistake and your foolishness from yourself. I don't understand. Your boss avoids giving you attention with this outburst, pretending to gather items from the desk. Since he's only someone who entered the meeting with his phone, you watch this token effort intently. Finally realizing you won't leave, he gives up. There's nothing unclear. I simply cannot continue working with you. Are you firing me just because of this call? Of course not. You know this isn't your first mistake. You cannot continue like this. You notice from his gaze that he doesn't want to spend any more time on you, which only infuriates you further. What mistake? The real mistake is yours in this matter, and now you're trying to pin all the blame on me? What nonsense are you talking about? And as your boss raises his voice in shock, you imagine. Since everyone fled the meeting room like rats, the open door allows your shouting to echo throughout the office, and neither of you cares. I am not talking nonsense. The only one being unreasonable here is you. You forced me to endure every nonsense from the clients. Every time I tried to balance the situation, you ruined everything. I had to take every absurdity into account and lost hours of work. And it's not just me. Your boss, unsure what to do in his anger, stands up. Are you questioning my management? How dare you? It's my right. Who else but me will do this? I work for you. Or rather, I worked. I don't feel an ounce of regret for being fired. And honestly, how far can you go blaming others for your mistakes? Do you think I'll be the only one suffering? Look at what happened over an issue that could have easily been solved. For what? At this rate, in a few weeks, you'll surely lose that client. If you're so scared of the clients, why are you even doing this job? You pause for a moment, out of breath. The relief from finally letting everything out even makes you forget your anger for a moment, but doesn't last long. You know you've gone too far. If you're not planning to take a serious step in your life, like changing your career or moving to a different place, you realize this situation could have serious consequences for you. Damn it. Your ex-boss speaks before you can, not forgetting to close the door behind him. I know I haven't managed things very well either. Shocked by this admission, you look at him and suddenly understand that his anger is not directed at you, it's at himself. If I told you how little I've slept in the past month, you'd probably think I'm mocking you. Yes, there are mistakes I've made. I admit that. Oh, when we started this as a startup, I never expected things to get this far. I only accepted because I was tired of corporate life, and my friend's suggestion sounded good at the time, but then suddenly you find yourself listening to your boss's worries. Within a short time, you become aware of all the internal matters of the company. Even more than that. It's not much different from the conversations you've had with Mia, except this time, it's not your friend in front of you. It's the boss who fired you just a moment ago. Yet for the first time, you begin to understand the reasons behind his anger. His overly controlling demeanor. The responsibilities on his shoulders are, of course, heavier than yours. And so are the digits in his bank account. Still, for a moment, you can't help but feel some sympathy for him, momentarily ignoring this fact. You even console him in a few places. The conversation continues until, oh my god, your vibrator, boss! The conversation continues until he can no longer ignore the harassment he faces from client calls. Finally, when he turns to you, his usual gruff, tense expression softens, becoming more understanding. What I mean is, Lion, you can continue your work here from where you left off. As soon as the workload eases a bit, I'll bring up some structural changes. Until then, I'll do my best to manage things. However, this time your boss continues with a hesitant tone, as if he isn't the same person who just poured out all his worries. Please focus entirely on your work. Honestly, you're talented in this field. You are definitely more capable than I am. You already have many of the skills I spent years developing to succeed. If you dedicate yourself to your work, I can guarantee you'll advance quickly. If you can manage to put your personal life more in the background, this becomes even easier. Of course, you may have issues in your personal life, but at the end of the day, you'll see they're all trivial, temporary things. Nothing or no one is worth stressing over, especially if it harms your career. On the contrary, the more you devote yourself to your work, the more you'll realize how meaningless and absurd those distractions really are. Believe me, I know this from my own experience. You're caught off guard, unable to respond because the last thing you expected was life advice about your personal matters from your boss. Is he still my boss? Truthfully, for a month now, ever since that damn party, you haven't been able to stop secretly following Soren's new girlfriend on social media through fake accounts. You feel like you need to know every moment of her life, every second. Damn. You realize just how close you are to losing your mind. Wait, why am I the stalker? Before leaving, he adds one final remark, seemingly pleased that you're taking in his words. That client is also yours. Full permission from me. You can handle it as you see fit. Finally, you leave the meeting room as he did and return to your desk. Your colleague, lifting her head from a mountain of files, rushes over excitedly. Lion, what happened? What did you discuss in there for so long? The future of the company? Yeah. With your reluctant answer, you first manage to thoroughly bewilder your friend, then make her smile. Stop teasing me, just tell me! Yet, even you aren't entirely sure of the correct answer. What the hell just happened? The boss who had fired you moments ago tried to convince you to stay. And that's not all. In all the time you've known him, you've never heard him offer praise to anyone, but just now, he clearly compared your talent to his own and complimented you. He even gave you advice. Your vibrator! At that moment, a notification on your phone catches your attention, and you glance quickly at your colleague. I'll tell you everything, but not now. Can you leave? You can leave the file with me. Don't worry. Your boss knows. Your colleague breathes a sigh of relief. Thank God. As you pick up your phone, you see a new video posted on Nora's social media account. Huh? Nora Spudding started a live video. Join in. No! Unlike before, you don't click on it immediately. You hesitate. Yes, Nora has everything you've wanted, but couldn't have. You see her daily posts from film sets, photo shoots, luxurious places, shopping trips, and even Soren's house. She's improving in her acting, enjoying life to the fullest, and is in a good relationship. But what are you gaining by secretly following her? Other than mistakes affecting your work, distractions, and sleepless nights. It's time to move from dreams to reality and accept what's in front of you. With a sudden decision, you delete all your social media accounts. Fake or real, it doesn't matter. Everything is left in the past, including Soren. Soon after, you return to work and tackle the postponed client call. Not only do you manage to make the client forget the last mishap, you also persuade them to follow your preferred approach, abandoning all the ridiculous changes. Of course, the necessary extra hours are just a minor detail. Your success is loudly acknowledged by a boss in the next meeting. Despite everyone else's astonished and bewildered glances, you feel immense happiness and pride. You need new achievements. Naturally, you focus intensely on new clients. Overtime and late evenings pass, and one success follows another. During one of your increasingly infrequent breaks, your colleague warns you. You're pushing yourself too hard. I'm not pushing myself, I'm just unleashing my potential. Isn't that a good thing? No, because I don't think that's what you're really doing. In my opinion, you're just running from something. When you ran into Soren at the party, you should have confronted him. When you got fired, you should have looked for a new job where you could really show your potential. You shouldn't have been so harsh on yourself. You just laugh off her advice. Because your boss, someone who's truly accomplished something noteworthy in life, soon tells you that he was right to trust you. You feel the same way. It's good that you listen to his advice. While you're working, you no longer feel the weight of those terrible emotions. Still, you can't completely deny that sometimes your thoughts drift to what your colleague said, especially during late, lonely hours at the office. But soon enough, your boss fulfills his promise, promoting you with the new changes, and your increased salary and perks make you forget those moments. Of course, your work pace naturally accelerates alongside all of this. You can feel your standing in the company rising, as well as your reputation in your boss's eyes. Money is no longer a problem for you, and neither are men. Even if you have to ignore Mia's complaints about not seeing each other as often or other things you once loved, you don't regret it. Until one night, after hours, you urgently need to reach your boss for a critical task, but can't get through after several calls. Normally, he would never leave your calls unanswered for this long. Because of the urgency, you quickly leave the office late at night. It doesn't take long to reach the high-security luxury complex where your boss lives. You know the address well, and you're familiar with everyone from the front desk to the security guards without needing to ask. Even at this late hour, it doesn't feel strange being here. However, just as you're heading towards his apartment, your phone vibrates if a new call. You have to stop to answer. An employee who couldn't reach your boss. By the time you hang up, there's yet another task added to your list. Luckily, you're prepared. It should be among the files you grabbed when leaving the office. You quickly turn back down the hallway, planning to grab the folder from the car and return immediately. Right now, nothing matters more to you than finalizing this deal with a new client as soon as possible. Just as the elevator doors are about to close, someone manages to slip inside at the last second. Hi, Soren. You're annoyed at the seconds he's cost you by forcing the doors to reopen, but you don't say anything. Because of his sheer size, you take a step back to put some distance between you, checking a few emails on your phone without even giving him a second glance. But before long, a strange feeling stops you. Involuntarily, you turn your face towards the man beside you, or rather, towards his hands. The gesture with which he rubs his palm over his thick glove is so familiar that it's as if a bolt of lightning strikes in your mind. Could it be? Cold shivers run through your entire body from head to toe, and as if he senses it, he shifts his gaze towards you. The brim of his hat casts his eyes in shadow, making his expression impossible to read. Yet despite the mask on his face and this unfamiliar disguise, you're certain it's him. Your lips part on their own, as if about to say something. Fortunately, the elevator doors open just at the right moment, sparing you from humiliating yourself. As he steps aside to let you pass, you remember the urgent task at hand once more. How could he possibly be here? I'm probably just imagining things from way too much stress. Jason is right. I really do need a proper vacation. The moment you step out of the elevator, the absurd scene slips from your mind entirely. You return to your boss's apartment door in a hurry the moment you grab the file from the car. No matter how many times you ring, there's no answer. You don't find it strange when you enter the door code. Still, the increasing frequency of these moments when your boss withdraws from everyone without warning, especially from work, has been bothering you lately. Naturally, you can't suppress your irritation as you step inside and call out to him. Jason, I'm here! You weren't answering the phone, so you left me no choice. And we have tons of work that matter far more than driving around at this hour. Only silence answers you. Jason! Aren't you home? Oh no. He's always home at this hour. Where else could he have gone? He would have told me. At the same moment, you remember that the man in the elevator had been headed in the direction of your boss's apartment. No. You hurry from the dark hallway into the spacious living room, though you don't need to go far. Something on the floor briefly catches the light in the darkness, flashing painfully in your eyes. Then you see your boss. What the hell? He's really here, on the floor. You drop the files and in horror, turn on the lights. For a split second, you try to convince yourself that he's only fainted. Nope! Dead! Completely brained! Gone! But the chilling sight that greets you in the brightly lit room shatters all optimism. Your poor boss is lying in a small pool of blood formed by what poured from his body. You're not even sure anymore that he's your boss. His face had taken such severe blows. His eyes, his mouth, his jaw. Nothing about it is recognizable. The old heavy golf trophy he was always so proud of lies beside him, soaked in blood. Only now do you realize that the flash that caught your eye earlier came from a bracelet. It's that extremely expensive bracelet, the one you told him you loved during a half-joking conversation after learning he was knowledgeable about such things. With this realization, tears suddenly spill from your eyes. Jason, what happened to you? Oh my God. If only you had prioritized your boss instead of that urgent call and the file in the car. Maybe you wouldn't be fighting him like this. But regret is only the beginning of what you're forced to endure. The police descend with an endless barrage of questions, each one heavier than the last, and you have no idea where it will lead. Why did you go there at night instead of waiting until the next day? I told you it was urgent. Was it really urgent enough to require handling in the middle of the night? Yes. So you knew the code to his apartment. Why? You thought it might be necessary for situations like this and gave it to me. Are you absolutely sure there was no emotional or sexual relationship between you and your boss? How many more times are you going to repeat that question? Did he mention recently that he had started treatment for erectile dysfunction? No! And you're saying you had no idea about the expensive bracelet your boss bought that day, the one found at the crime scene? Interesting. I admit that I was the one who showed him the bracelet, but I didn't know he had bought it. So the only thing you know is this man you happen to run into in the elevator, someone no one else knows about and who doesn't appear on the security cameras? Yes, I've told you every detail I have about him. Except for who you think he might be. Look, it's obvious the perpetrator committed this murder in a fit of great rage. You saw the crime scene yourself. Don't you still have any idea? You're forgetting that she is a witness who suffered a severe shock. Despite that, she gave her statement with utmost care and attention. Conducting the investigation is not her responsibility. She is, of course, ready to return when summoned by the court. Thanks to the lawyer Mia insisted you hire, one who cost no small fortune, you managed to remain at least partially outside the scope of the investigation. After that, you're forced to face something else entirely. Jason's will is read, and his ex-wife and others learn about the company shares he left to you. At the funeral and afterward, you endure the insinuating looks that refuse to leave you alone. And as if that weren't enough, the crisis caused within the company by the sudden vacancy in his position shows no sign of being resolved easily. Yet no matter what happens, none of it shakes you as deeply as your feelings about the identity of the man you saw that night. Even though you've told the police everything you know about him, sharing this intuition with anyone is simply impossible. You know no one would believe you. Especially when Mia, your most trusted friend, isn't on your side about this either. Soren? Where did that come from? You tried to steady your voice, forcing calm despite the doubts clawing at your mind. I was curious. Have you seen him around lately? I mean, your circle is wide. Maybe someone else has. Unlike you, Mia is completely certain. No, I told you, he couldn't make things work with that girl from the party, and then used his job as an excuse to run off to another city, didn't I? It's been 3 years, Lion. He's still in touch with Emil's, so I hear about him now and then, but don't you dare tell me you miss him. No! Mia doesn't even let you finish, cutting you off with her frustration. Please, that man has long since forgotten you. Emil says he never even mentions you. If he had really loved you, he would have done something. At least tried to show some regret. Not that you would have forgiven him, but you should have tried. Anyway, you don't even know what it's supposed to mean to you whether Soren has forgotten you or not. Especially now when everything you feel has been thrown into chaos by the murder. That's not what I meant. I just thought I saw him recently, or at least I thought I did. An expression of absolute certainty spreads across Mia's face. That's impossible. Right now he's vacationing at a relative's cabin far away. I know because Emil's with him. I can track his location anytime. The location she shows you on her phone is so far from your boss's apartment that there's no way he could have been connected to the murder. Well, almost no way. One of the photos Emil keeps sending, Mia, catches your eye. Soren is wearing gloves. Not the same gloves, of course. Still, you've never once seen Soren wear gloves while cooking in the kitchen. Is he hiding the marks left by that heavy golf trophy on his hands? Oh no. What am I even thinking? Oh. So he's with Emil. Mia, of course, doesn't understand what's confusing you so much. Where exactly did you see him? I didn't really see him. At least not his face, just from a distance. You're definitely mistaken. Lion, you're not just going to use me to learn about him because you still haven't gone over him, are you? Your whole body stiffens at the accusation. No! Seeing that you're sincere, Mia takes on a more serious tone. Then don't ever skip your therapy sessions. This whole incident shook you deeply. I mean, anyone would be shaken after witnessing something that brutal. And you almost came face to face with the killer too. Don't go back to work until you feel truly okay. Mia is right. You were the one who saw the crime scene. The corpse. The brutality. Soren could never be someone like that. Well, about that. But how could the killer's build, his gait, even the way he used his hands, match him perfectly? As your mind clouds over with doubt again, you see that Mia is getting ready to leave. Mia, could you stay with me for just one more night? We already talked about this line. I've got a bunch of things to deal with at home. Don't tell me you're still scared. Honestly, Lion, this place is perfectly secure. You could have said the same about your boss's apartment. Besides, I live just a few floors down. Alright, you'll have to let go of this paranoia. Bye, Mia! Alright, go on then. Good night. Call me if anything happens. Good night to you too. The moment you close the door behind Mia and step back into the living room, you feel something different. A faint noise, followed almost instantly by a movement behind the curtain. You could swear it happened. Fear grips you once again. As you vibrate, you grab your phone, quickly pulling up security's number, something that's become a new habit. You have to hurry. He's here. That man, Soren. This time, he came for you. But security arrives, and soon enough you realize it was nothing more than the wind from a window you'd left slightly open. The draft moved the curtain, which knocked a small candle off a nearby shelf. No one was in the apartment. Your mind must be playing tricks on you. Maybe. Maybe you still haven't gotten over Soren, and that's why you projected the killer onto him. You wanted to see him, even after all these years. After all, even Jason, no matter how much he drowned himself in work, had never truly managed to forget his ex-wife. The police, however, claimed otherwise. Alright. The one thing that you were certain of is that you need to keep going to therapy. You gained a fortune, but you lost your peace. Neutral ending. Okay, tight. Cool. I'm gonna be honest, I thought that route was gonna end very differently, but that was how to break up with your Yandere boyfriend. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. And I genuinely don't know how to actually approach this game anymore. Like, God, like the route which I was on, which was the route I wanted to go on, like it was so ass that it ended in 10 minutes. I want to see this. This is what I want to see. I want to see Soren like caked up in blood. And should I do this again? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion signing off. Ciao.